Hello and welcome to a review. What the fuck? Where is
It's been a minute.
everyone?
Place seems pretty empty around here. Is this dust?
Is this why we haven't been called in for years? Bro, we have to fix this. I'm running out of gambling money. No one is insuring my vehicles I keep crashing, and I've been having to pay for my own hotels.
Oh, you should probably come and work with me over at Shield. Everything's paid for by the U.S. government.
Let's just fill all these empty positions and get this place back up and running fast.
All right.
Well, first, I guess we're gonna need a new main guy who actually does all the work while we party and abuse our licenses to kill.
Yeah, we're gonna need a new main guy for sure.
So, who do you think we should hire for James Bond?
Well, when you proposed this to me, you said fantasy casting, any actor, any period.
Any era, yeah.
So you're gonna hate me.
Oh, shit.
I really think Josh Brolin is the guy. And we're talking prime Josh Brolin.
Okay, so you're going with an American for Bond.
I am, and I thought about it long and hard, and the only other Englishman I could come up with was Tom Hardy or Gerard Butler, and Gerard Butler's Scottish, and that would be taking it back to its roots. And no, Josh Brolin, he's got the gravitas.
It's a bold choice. It's a bold
I
choice.
I like it though.
He'd
I
make a
like it.
good
I
Felix.
no, the guy I picked for my Felix would make a good Felix. And you're right, Josh Brolin would make a good Felix.
Hey, maybe he would make
Um,
a good Bond. It's a controversial choice, at the very least. It's
Well,
controversial, sir.
it's controversial because he's American, and that's the only reason
Yep,
it's controversial.
yep. And his
You
age at
can't
this point.
disagree with me. He's got the gravitas, he's got the look, he can bulk up, he's believable as a former SAS agent. His body of work is
Mm.
pretty good.
Yes, the Goonies.
Yes, The Goonies.
So- Welcome back.
Sicario's pretty good too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. Well, I chose for James Bond Henry Cavill.
You went with the big popular guy?
The one that I have argued against in every one of our personal conversations. Yes, I thought that would throw
You
you off.
you went with the big popular guy.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
I wouldn't have guessed Henry Cavill.
I thought about this for a while, and I'm not the biggest Cavill fan. I thought ATJ would be good for it, but his acting is very hit and miss. I'd love for Tom Hardy or Idris Elba to get the role, but they're both already too old, especially considering the delay between films nowadays. Cavill is old enough to play the role suitably and baby-faced enough to still look younger. He has the chops, and everyone wants him to do it, so let's just roll with dark soups already.
If I was gonna go with the popular choice of ice cream or something like that, I definitely would have picked Tom Hardy.
I just think he's too old. Same reason I think Josh Brolin's too old,
He
honestly.
he's not much older than Cavill.
Cavill has a boyish face and look to him still, though. Brolin has already done plenty of films where he's completely gray-haired
Right,
because...
right, but we're talking about prime Brolin, we're not talking about
Oh, you're talking about
now
Prime
Brolin.
Brolin.
I did say that, I said prime Brolin.
He did say that.
I'm not talking about Brolin now, I'm talking about prime Brolin.
I'm going to go ahead and say, even though I said any actor in any era, I went ahead and cast everyone as they are right now in mind.
Yeah, okay. See, now I have a fantasy cast and you have a potential cast.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's what I thought we were fantasy casting movie.
I did. It just turned out to be something that's doable today.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that's fair. Well, on that note, sir, the only problem that I have with Henry Cavill playing James Bond is he's too big.
That was
Like
my
he would
favorite
stand
part
out.
about Daniel Craig, was how big he was, and I was like, "Finally, I believe this dude could take on a room full of
Well,
dudes."
Daniel Craig was big as in buff, and I'm not saying Henry Cavill is too buff. I'm just saying he's too big. At that size, at that buff, you stand out in a crowd. I mean, you look around, you're like, "Oh shit, who's that big dude?"
Who cares? This
Yeah.
guy's the guy who walks into a place and says, "I'm this motherfucker," and then puts his dick
Hey,
on the table immediately. I don't know. I disagree, but I see what you're saying nonetheless.
well, okay. That being said, we've got our bonds.
We've got our bonds. So,
I just feel like, well, just before we continue, I just want to say that leaves such a vanilla taste in my mouth. Like Henry
man,
Cavill, really?
yeah, get over it. Hey, it
All
was it
right,
was my
I'm
last
over it.
choice too, but that's why I thought it was a perfect first choice for me.
All
All
right,
right,
fair enough.
so for M, who do you have?
Well, Isn't it your turn? We're not gonna alternate?
Oh, okay, we can alternate. Well, for M, I
Okay.
chose Pierce Brosnan because first off,
Nice pick.
how poetic would it be to have Brosnan back as M? And just look at him
Uh,
now. Look at that mustache. Yes, please. I need it now. He could even play an M who used to be a double O, meaning he knows exactly how they act and would be a smarter foil.
that is fair. That is fair. Pierce Brosnan's a great choice, and he's definitely on my list, but he's not who I picked.
Because he's too
It,
big for M, you know what I mean?
yeah, it's kind of that, but and well, no, it's the callback is touching, but it's also kind of pandering to me. It's like Pierce Brosnan is good, and he would be a perfect M, no doubt, hands down. People would applaud when they saw him. That being said, if it were me and you know how I am, I would be like, "Oh, that's a nice touch. You did it for the other people." I don't didn't say what we normally call the other people because that's kind of derogatory.
No, go ahead and tell us.
My M pick is again controversial. My whole list is going to be controversial, just so you know. But my M pick is Kenneth Branagh.
Oh, that is an unexpected way. I like it though, because if you're talking about gravitas, now that's the
Right, that's what I'm
motherfucker.
saying. Kenneth Branagh could, and this is the thing, as long as he's working for you and not in charge, he's a fantastic actor. Like, he can bring it
Just
like
don't
nobody
ask
else,
him
and I
to
think
direct.
no, don't ask him to direct it because then his whatever he's in that he directs, it's just it doesn't yeah. Anyway, he can bring that gravitas that you would want, and as M, he could give you that snarky, you don't like him kind of attitude, but he's on your side, so he always kinda redeems himself at the end. He could give you that 100% all day, every day. He could be a great foil to any James Bond.
All right, well then we have to cast a Q. So,
Yay, I get to make another controversial choice. Do you remember how nobody liked John Cleese playing Q?
yeah. I mean, I didn't think it
I
was
mean,
like absolutely terrible when it came out, but instead of having more forgiveness for it as time went on, I actually hate it more as time went
right.
on.
So how about this? Instead of having a real silly guy play Q, you have a guy that can kind of do both, and you cast a guy like Kevin Kline from the Fish Called Wanda days.
Kevin Kline.
That's right. He can be funny and serious.
So we're one Will Smith away from a Wild Wild West at this point.
Well, yeah, yeah, we are one Will Smith away from a Wild Wild West.
All right, I like it.
I mean, like think about it. Kevin Kline can give you that silly, quirky, quippy, but at times serious, heartfelt. Because he's done other films other than Wild Wild West. I think Grand Canyon was one of them. It was
Yeah, he
a
did
fucking magical
Dave.
film. He did Dave. He's yeah, I'm sticking by it. Kevin
He's
Kline,
done
Q, 100%.
movies.
Yes, and good
Not
ones.
in like 30 years, but he's done them, damn it.
See, you tricked me. You said fantasy cast.
No, I know I didn't trick you. I'm just laughing. I'm sorry. You're right. I see my comment is null and void. I like it though. No, so you're talking about 90s like in his peak Calvin, not
Yeah,
Calvin, Kevin Klein.
Kevin. Yes. Yes, in his peak, Fish Called Wanda, Dave, Grand Canyon,
Wild Wild
you know,
West.
eh, he may have been the best thing in that movie, though.
Yeah, dude, he was.
He was probably the best thing in
It
that
wasn't
movie.
even close. He upstaged Will Smith
He
in the
upstaged
90s.
Kenneth Branagh, who was just over the fucking top.
Yeah,
But
well.
yeah,
Whew.
yeah.
Oh, ooh.
Woo!
Oh, yeah. I don't. Ooh.
Yeah,
All right, we're moving on from that one.
right.
I chose Barry Kogan or Kyogan. How do you say his name?
Barry Keoghan, good choice, Matthew. I like that.
I think he looks like a tech guy. He looks like a nerd who hides in his basement all day, and he's a great
He
actor.
And he's a great actor. Yeah, nah, he could bring it. His turn in the Eternals, and I can't think of his character's name, even though I know it, was awesome. I really enjoyed him in that role. Played it perfectly.
He's also physically small as to inflate Bond as the weapon. The way the WWE uses short refs to make the wrestlers look bigger.
They do that, don't they?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Let's get
And
it
it's
on.
smart. That's what I'd do with Q. You know, you don't want a big ass, tall Q and a short ass Bond. Number 4 then goes to Moneypenny.
Yeah.
I chose Karen Gillian.
She's a good Moneypenny.
You know, you may know her from
Gunpowder
Jumanji,
Milkshake.
Doctor Who, Nebula. I chose her
Yeah.
for one real reason and one real reason alone. Because she's hot,
What's that?
bro.
Because she's hot, bro.
I wanted
That's,
someone at
pretty-
least in their 30s for this role, but also could still believably have sexual tension with the Calverine.
Oh, okay.
She can act. She
Okay.
has action chops. She comes off as intelligent, and she can portray class.
I like it. I like it. That's a pretty good choice. That is a pretty good choice. My Moneypenny.
Marilyn Monroe.
I picked Marilyn Monroe. Oh,
In
see,
her
for fantasy
prime.
casting, that would have been perfect. Marilyn Monroe in her prime. I probably would have went more with a brunette.
Julie Andrews in her prime.
No, Julie Andrews is silly. I went with Chloe Grace Moritz because she's a pretty decent actress. She can play a fresh-faced Moneypenny, crushing hard on a Bond who really you're kind of young for me, but I like her, and she's proven that she can do action in a pinch.
So she would work for Roger Moore.
Oh yeah, she would definitely work for Roger Moore.
Oh my God. That's
No,
another
she'd work for
controversial
Sean Connery,
choice.
too.
Another
Don't
controversial
flatter,
choice.
don't flatter Connery in this either.
It's fair. Connery wasn't banging girls his grandchildren's age, though. Just his daughters.
Just his daughters, right?
For the villain.
Now, before we get into this, because you have two kind of categories on this list that are villainous, is this the villain
Yeah.
or the heavy?
No, this is like the villain. The way Dr.
Okay.
No was the villain in Dr. No, even though Ernst
Okay.
Blofeld Inspector was controlling him.
Okay. Then you're going to like you're not going to like my choice at all. But I've made my choice.
It's John Cena!
He's invisible, and that's his power.
That's
Nobody
his
sees him.
For your villain.
Okay, here we go.
Unless it's John Cena, then I nailed it and we're moving on.
It's not John Cena, but that would have been great. I should have put him on the list somewhere. I didn't even think about Cena for any of this. For my villain, I'm picking Keanu Reeves, and we're talking post-Matrix, Man of Tai Chi Keanu Reeves.
See, that's just that love of Man of Tai Chi coming through.
Well, he played a villain so well in that movie. I so thoroughly enjoyed him being unhinged that I would love to see more Keanu unhinged. And with his martial arts experience, it would be one of the best Bond villain fights ever because Bond never fights the fucking villain. I mean, kinda. He kind of fought Dominic Green with an axe. Yeah, whatever. But he never really fights the villain.
He fought
Like-
Dr. No. They slapped each other.
They did slap each other. They did a lot.
A lot. It was funny.
Yes, no. Keanu Reeves, I think, would be a perfect foil for a James Bond. Because he can play unhinged, he can play bad, he can play evil very well. And everybody loves Keanu Reeves.
Everybody loves Keanu Reeves. That's the name of the next movie. For the villain, I went with Daniel Craig.
Yeah, we've talked about this in the past. He would make a great villain come back as a former 00.
Okay, I wouldn't actually do this on the first film, so he wouldn't outshine the new Bond. Maybe for the third of the new guy's run, but just having Brosnan back as the perfect M, and then Craig would just be like this perfectly diabolical villain, and it would be so crazy to have like this battle of the Bonds.
Undeniably awesome.
You got the old world in with the new.
Yeah, I think people would have a problem with it because it's Daniel Craig, you know?
Oh, he could play crazy.
Oh, no. I'm not saying Daniel Craig can't do the role. I think they just see him as, well, why is he James Bond too? I thought it wasn't a code name. It was his name and da-da-da-da-da.
Do it in your head canon however you want. He's not James Bond. He's just playing a different guy. He's just the actor. Do you know how many actors came back in James Bond and played legitimately different people? Get
Oh,
out of
all
here.
of them.
A ton
All of
of
them.
them,
The
a ton of
Broccoli's
'em,
were
especially the
fiercely loyal.
early back when it was, like, studio actor days.
Right. The Broccoli's were fiercely loyal to their actors,
For
except for Felix.
for the Bond girl, I
Mm.
chose Sarah Ferguson.
What?
Yeah, I like her. You know, she's the mom in Dune, she's like the
Yeah,
evil
I
witch
know
in
who
the
Sarah
Doctor
Ferguson
Sleep.
is. That's crazy. That's
Look,
not I see, I thought we would have been on the same page on this, but I
no,
was
see, Cavill may be a little baby-faced, but we need to stop having 40-plus-year-old men constantly hooking up with girls fresh out of college in these films. I mean, don't stop
ah,
completely, but don't make it all he goes after either. Bond would definitely
ah,
bang women his own age, especially nowadays, they aging like wine. Maybe he'd get with a young girl that caught his fancy or had info or could be an ally, but when they're always 19, he seems like a predator. Sarah is beautiful, busty, and again, can bring intensity and class. I mean, she was ass kicking in Mission Impossible.
yeah, she was. No, absolutely. That's not a bad choice at all. Not a bad choice. Yeah, she wasn't on my list, and I tell you, Anna de Armas was on my list,
Yeah, but
but
she's
she
already
didn't make the
been a
cut.
Bond girl.
One of the best ones, and it's a fantasy casting. It's like I can't deny she was one of the best Bond girls. But I picked Zendaya.
So she could be half his height.
No, because she can fucking act. If you ever see Marie and Malcolm, this chick can act. And I think she could potentially be that next type of Bond girl that Sophie was. Was her name Sophie? The last one?
Swan? Madeline Swan?
Yeah, yeah, Swan. Yes, Madeline Swan. I think Zendaya could play that type of role perfectly.
Ah, the more fragile, doe-eyed, broken Bond girl than ass-kicking.
Right.
You got your Halle
Right.
Berrys, your Ana de Armases, and then you have your Jane Seymour and girl who played Madeline Swan that I'm blanking on right now because we're going to move
Yeah.
on. But for the most part, you have two types of Bond girls, and they fall in a spectrum somewhere between them.
Right. And I think Zendaya could be one of those nice middle ground who's like broken but awesome, you know?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who would you cast for Felix or an ally?
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons.
Yep. Even current J.K. Simmons. I'm like prime J.K. Simmons, sure. Nah, I'd take a little bit later J.K. Simmons,
I
you
feel
know?
like I went for a more youthful look to my cast.
Yeah. I just picked actors that I liked.
No, I like it. That's cool. I feel like that would be on his bingo card of roles he would do because he tends to do roles like that.
Right. Him just yelling at Bond all the time, being the loud, brash American CIA agent. That would be so beautiful. Wouldn't it be beautiful?
So Brolin does not fake an accent. We're just moving Bond to
No.
the CIA in your version.
Okay, I guess, because
Okay.
Brolin can't fake an accent.
He's a great actor. He has gravitas. He can't fake an
I
accent. We're changing the
in
lore.
my head, he could. He could probably, with enough coaching, fake an accent.
I chose for Felix John Cena. Dun, 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 dun.
Really? That's a good choice.
This
John
may
Cena
seem
would make a great
silly at
Creed.
first.
It does. It's not silly. I've seen Peacemaker. I've seen Suicide Squad. It's not a silly choice at all.
But if we are going with a buff Bond who actually looks like he could fight his way out of a room full of dudes, then why would the American agents be any different, especially when Americans portray their government agents the exact same way in our action films? John Cena has played
Right?
agents in our films before. He has range. He's actually one of the better actors out there. And he has the face of an ex-military
Yeah.
man or a government man. He could toss barbs and one-liners with the best of Bonds and hold his own in a fight, looking more like an actual American equivalent to Bond.
Yeah. Yep. That would be a great buddy cop movie, Cena and Cavill.
So, who do you have for the
So,
head of? Oh, I guess I should go first on this one. For the head of the enemy organization, I chose Olivia Colman.
hmm,
First off, I
Olivia.
wouldn't use Spectre or Quantum, which just ended up being an office inspector, anyways, but something
Right.
more akin to Elon Musk, where she's a rich person with multiple companies and connections all around the world commercial, social, political. She has a lot of resources, connections, and she ultimately desires to constantly expand her wealth, power, and control. But she never directly thinks to herself, oh, I'm going to take over the world. It's just an endless, ruthless acquisition of more, no matter what the cost or legality. The type of woman to have a neighborhood bombed so she could buy the land and develop it.
Now, see, we have a type because for the head of the enemy organization, I picked Sigourney Weaver, and we're talking evil bitch queen Sigourney Weaver, and pretty much for the same reasons. Corporate, greedy, boss bitch Sigourney Weaver. You know the one. She makes a great villain when she's being villainous. Nobody commands a room like angry Sigourney Weaver.
That's true. I mean, they even replaced all the Asian people with the Defenders with an angry Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, yeah, they sure did. I don't understand how that white lady became the leader of the Hand, but
I don't
whatever.
either, but they did it.
But they did it. That's
For
hilarious.
for Bond's mentor, who did you go for?
I went with Sir Anthony Hopkins because if you're going to have a mentor who's going to give you advice you're going to listen to, it's going to be Anthony Hopkins. Whether he's telling you how to eat a brain or congratulating you
Is this
on your
Silence of the Lambs era Anthony Hopkins, or I'm about to turn into a fat pile of dust right now Anthony Hopkins?
I was thinking more in between there, in between Silence of the Lambs and Transformers, Tony Hopkins.
Sir Tony, did you have any kind of like arcs in mind or anything like that?
No, all I saw in my head was Josh Brolin getting his ass beat by Keanu Reeves.
He said sold, sir.
Sold. Sold.
For Bond's mentor, I chose Gary Oldman.
Good pick. I don't know why he didn't make my list.
I'd bring back the character of Kincaid because I kind of like that idea, but I'd reimagine him to be a bit less of a caretaker of Skyfall and
Right.
more of a mentor replacement father figure to Bond himself.
An Alfred, if you will.
I wanted to reimagine him as like the kind of person that he goes to when he needs to grab onto his like remaining link to humanity and have it strengthened.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. And Gary Oldman is, the perfect person for that. He's been everything.
So I fed all of what I wrote about who I wanted and what position and these arcs and how I would use them and what I think they could bring to their dynamics. And I fed it with a small little plot line about a guy, trying to use drones to take over the world into ChatGPT. Then I used that to write a script and I made that into a movie, which I'm now going to have you watch so I can get your reactions to.
Sure.
Global markets crashing. Protests escalate worldwide.
Regional clashes reaching boiling point.
The world was once full of possibilities. We reached for the stars, for peace, for progress. But that dream slipped away. Now the world trembles on the edge of a precipice. 1,000 fires are waiting to be lit. It's no longer a matter of if war will come. It's when.
nice titles. Great use of silhouette. The Brock and Salt connection. And the broccoli sprouts. The bald Amazon king. Not produced.
The bald Amazon king. Ah, 007. You've heard about the drone strikes, no doubt? Yes, but probably just the Americans or Chinese trigger-happy with their new toys. These drone strikes are too precise. High-ranking officials, military targets, intelligence operatives. Someone's orchestrating this. You're saying they're escalating tensions? Not fighting specific wars? That these targets are carefully chosen to provoke larger conflicts? Whoever'd be behind that would want chaos on a global scale. Quite right, as usual, 007. It's almost as if they're orchestrating a master plan, one move at a time. The strikes don't make sense unless there's a bigger motive behind them. Whoever's pulling the strings has big ambitions, James. Setting up something catastrophic. Tempting global war and economic collapse. They want the end of the system. You're dealing with more than just crooks and politicians here, James. Someone's trying to push us back to the Dark Ages. Then I'll find them. This won't be easy. Q has some new tools that might help. I'm not exactly one for gadgets, but I'll take what I can get. Then go to Q. You'll need more than just luck on this one, Bond. I know it's hard for you to hear this, but please keep your wits about you. You're only a man, and no use to me dead.
You're looking more disheveled than usual, James. Had another near-death experience?
If only.
I'm sure you think you're quite charming, don't you? Or do you have another excuse for showing up here so late?
But maybe you can help me with that. You always know how to get straight to the point, don't you?
Someone has to keep you on track.
Can I have the dossier on the wolf?
Is that who M said was behind the drone attack?
Just a hunch. If it wasn't for you, I'd be lost.
Don't get too sentimental, 007. We both know what happens to those poor girls when you let your heart get too involved.
You're looking even more reclusive than usual. I am busy, Bond. I have enough work here building an entire surveillance system for a country. And you, again, come in expecting me to hand you something that will magically save you. I like to think I'm the magic in these situations. But you have got something to help me, don't you? Do I ever? Is this really going to help? Do you want to survive, or are you planning on getting yourself killed out there? Both, I suppose. This is a miniaturized EMP charge, very discreet. If you need to disable any electronics quickly, it'll do the trick. It's on a timer, so use it wisely. And this is a new model of your usual watch. It's reinforced with a tungsten shell, so you can't break it. It's also got a built-in tracker, encrypted communication systems, and this button here I'm particularly proud of. It releases a pressurized
gave
gas
Bond an
cloud,
unbreakable
perfect
watch.
for disorienting anyone close to you. And I suppose I'll be needing something for the close quarters as well. You know me too well. There's a combat knife in there with a vibro edge. It's razor sharp, Bond. You don't need to get too fancy when it comes to survival. What's the catch? You've never asked me for the real magic, Bond, but you're going to need it soon. You're chasing a man who doesn't care about the rules. And if you want to survive, you might have to break a few of your own. Thanks, Q. I'll see if I can make use of these without wrecking anything too valuable. I'll try not to take it personally if you do.
Every strike pushes us closer. War, chaos, it's the perfect storm. The world will bow to those who control the land, the power, the resources, and when it all collapses, I'll be standing at the top.
But sir, the instability is spreading. This could spiral out of control. The world's already on the brink of full collapse.
You think this is a problem? No, my friend, this is the solution. War breeds chaos, and chaos breeds opportunity. I'll build on the foundations made of the rubble of their failed states. A new age of empires. My empire. When the worlds fall apart, I'll be the one to take control. It's inevitable. Where's the next target?
I don't know. It's not us. Wolf controls it all. He's pulling the strings. We just follow orders. We don't know the targets. He does. Where is he? Tell me. It's worse than I thought, Kincaid. Wolf isn't just starting wars. He's positioning himself to control everything. And there's no one strong enough to stop him.
You've always thought you could save the world, lad. But there comes a time when you have to ask yourself, what's the cost?
I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for the world that's slipping through our fingers.
The world's already gone. What's left is the rubble. You're not saving anything, James. You're just trying to ensure you're still standing when it all comes down.
Your Scottish accent's gotten better.
I'm Jessica Cerise. Let's dance, big boy.
Love a lady that knows what she wants. You're not the typical woman I meet at these things. CIA.
Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. But I've seen more than you might think. This world is falling apart, James. And when it does, we'll need more than just men like you to survive.
What do you mean?
We all have our roles. But in this new world, you might be playing the wrong one.
So what does bring a girl like you to a den of wolves like this?
Do you have a match?
I use a lighter.
Better still.
So, how is old Felix?
We'll see him soon. I owed him a favor.
What do you know about Sebastian Wolf? Get down! I think it's time to pay our good friend Mr. Lighter a visit.
Action scene. Cut.
Stay close. Are you sure this place is off the grid?
Felix always delivers when it counts.
Well, well, look who finally shows up. Could have sworn you'd gotten yourself killed by now, Bond. You should have known better. I'm too stubborn for that. Enough pleasantries. I assume you're here for more than a chat about old times. Wolf isn't just another power-hungry maniac, James. His reach is global. But there's a twist I didn't expect. He's using the chaos as a smokescreen for something much darker. This isn't about control. It's about building something permanent. An empire. His empire. In his image, his name, and his rules. Wolf has access to resources
This
that
is,
can reshape the world. Economic, military.
That's a pretty good
information.
outline.
It's all intertwined. We're talking about the end of the old order.
You're definitely
and a
onto
new
something
world
here.
built from the ashes. I won't let him get away with it. That's the Bond I know. You might just be the only one who can stop him. But you're not alone in this. Just remember, this fight isn't just physical. You'll need to play this one smart.
We're going to need your connections, Felix. Wolf's network runs deep. The clock's ticking.
You'll get everything you need. Just don't expect me to be the one getting shot at this time. You okay?
I'm not sure if I should be, but I'll survive. Like I always do.
You've been through a lot. More than most would survive.
And yet, here we are.
I never thought I'd find someone like you, Jessica.
Then maybe you're not looking in the right places.
Maybe you've been playing the wrong role.
The obligatory bed scene. You haven't skipped anything so far. Nope. Car chase. Boom! There we go.
Seems we've got company. Hold tight. This is going to get interesting.
I thought it already was.
James, those drones are armed with EMP charges. If they get too close, your entire car systems will shut down.
Of course they are. Everything has an EMP these days.
Of course it will.
One down.
And 3 more to go. Not today.
James, those are explosive micro drones. You have 10 seconds before they detonate.
I hate to ruin a perfectly good car.
Next time, maybe less theatrics?
James, Wolf's controlling the entire drone fleet from a quantum mainframe inside that bunker. If you shut it down, his entire operation collapses.
We'll split up. You find a way to cut their power grid. I'll handle the wolf.
Let him in. I want to watch him try.
People's elbow.
James Bond, always the optimist. Did you really think you could stop an empire with a gun and a smirk?
Empire's fall, wolf. Yours is next.
Damn! James, I'm cut off. I have to bail.
Bull talk from a dead man. You're surrounded, Mr. Bond. I've had my eyes on you this entire time. You are never going to win. And with you gone, I can enact my brilliant master plan too.
Can I just stop you there? I hate it when people drone on and on.
You should have stayed in MI6's little office, Bond. Now you'll die with the old world.
James!
You even had one-liner. Wilhelm scream. Perfect.
Power's out, wolf. The Empire's crumbling. Let's get out of here.
You saved the world again, James.
It's becoming a bit of a habit. But then again, he was just chasing his tail.
Sebastian is of no consequence. He never was. Just an opening move of a sacrificial pawn. Now that the world's on the brink, the game can really begin. We'll burn everything to the ground, and what's left will be mine.
You gotta wait for the post-credit scene.
I haven't clicked off yet. I was gonna watch the whole credits.
There's post-credit.
I mean, there's very many minutes left. Oh, look. It's credits. Produced by Credits and Credits. Hey, and credits. Credits. Credits.
It's very important that you
Some
see
more
all
credit.
of it.
Oh, hey. Did you know that credits? It was credits by credits.
This is exactly how I imagine this playing out.
This last print is very Gotham or Sin City. The Bond silhouette in the black and white. Reminds me of a graphic novel cover.
So yeah, like the AI gave me a script that was absolutely unusable, not what I asked for at all, and ignored half the characters that I told it to use and put the other half all in the M scene and just ignored them for the rest. So I would be like, all
Uh.
right, keep this and rewrite the rest, and then keep this and this, and now we rewrite. And eventually we got to like something that was like halfway usable, and I just had to change like a couple things. I forgot to put in him actually using his watch. He fries him with the EMP. I made it to where he fried him with
Right.
the EMP and stabbed him while his suit
And
was
with the-
powered down with it with the vibro knife. But I forgot that he was gonna stun him with the smoke to throw the EMP. And I just had him using Jessica screaming James as a distraction because I totally forgot.
You also have one really stupid looking guard in there whose back is turned to all the action.
Yeah,
Just saying.
yeah, I know.
It's like, what is that retard doing?
He's
fired.
watching that corner really well. I mean, we've cast everybody we need to run MI6. I think. Oh well, okay. We also need a janitor, HR. Wait, fuck HR. And excuse me, what are you two doing here? Are you the
Who are you?
janitor? You're fucking late. Clean this place up, man. I've been breathing cobwebs and dead skin. Chop chop, Baldy. I'm Mr. Amazon. I bought this place, and there shouldn't be anyone in here. How did you get in? You bought MI6?
Who the fuck are you? We work here.
And I own here. And we're gonna keep it classy. No worries, my guy. Bring in the Slurpee machines and strippers. What the fuck? You
Oh,
guys can
God.
stay on at a criminally low pay. There's a mountain of contracts to sign ensuring you can't quit, sue, or form a union, though. Pretty standard stuff. I hope you like peeing in bottles.
No thanks. I'm gonna go back and work for the federal government.
I'm gonna kill him.
You should.
Fuck this. I'm going to work at S.H.I.E.L.D. with Carter.